Hey everybody, and welcome back to Hollow Knight. I finally did it correctly. Last time, we completed the Trial of the Fool at the Coliseum of Fools, completed all Hunter's journal entries, unlocked a mysterious golden figure in the middle of the junk pit, which we'll have to check out another time, and did a couple other things I can't remember what they are right now. This time, this is going to be the final episode of the main series, because we only have, like, 2 things left to do, honestly. Though there is one thing for me left to do that I should have done a long time ago, but didn't do because I just straight up forgot, alright? There's a couple more secret charm combinations that I have yet to show, and they involve Grubberfly's Elegy. First of all, equip the charm with Mark of Pride, and the projectiles will be bigger, naturally, as a result of the increased width of the slashing animation. I don't know if Long Nail also impacts that. I do have 2 notches remaining, so let's see. It might? Hard to tell. It might be a little bit. It might impact them a little bit. But anyway, the other effects Grubfly's Elegy has also involve Fury of the Fallen. But if you equip it along with Grub's Song, you gain 25 soul every time you take damage instead of 15 like you did before. Apparently there's a cooldown. I can't be hit during my invincibility frames. That makes sense. So yeah, we get a lot more soul from it now. Even though it's still not enough to get one use of soul immediately, it's still there. Finally, if you activate Fury of the Fallen with Grubberfly's Elegy also equipped, you get the projectiles back, and now they deal more damage. Specifically, while the regular Grubberfly's Elegy projectiles deal 50% of your nails damage, these ones deal 67.5% of your nails damage. So you now have increased range at 1 mask of health. This definitely brings another positive trait about Fury of the Fallen. It re-enables Grubberfly's Elegy, and that could make a difference. Another thing to note about Fury of the Fallen is that it only looks for your main health bar. If you were to, say, go hit yourself down to 1 mask and then collect lifeblood health, the effect would actually remain active as it does not care about your lifeblood health. It only cares if your main health bar is at 1 mask. That said, the use cases for Fury of the Fallen are still very niche. Use it if you want to, but for me personally, my playstyle focuses on evading enemies more than anything else, so I don't want to take damage, and when I'm at 1 hit, any little mistake will kill me, and I still think Fury of the Fallen's effect could have been a little bit stronger, like maybe 2 masks of health it activates instead of 1. That way, if you're fighting an enemy that deals 2 damage to you, then it would actually, help you. Then again, I guess you could still be left with a mask. Whatever. Anyway, I wanted to show those off real quick because I probably am not going to be able to show them in the main series. I was going to show any that I had forgotten in the Godmaster DLC miniseries, but since that's going to be such a separate thing from the main series, I just thought it was important to go over them within the main I've said that like 4 times now. Let's move on. So, for my next set of charms, it's going to look a little familiar. Look a little similar to something we just had on not long ago. And I think you know where I'm going with this. I'm going to re-equip the platforming charms. Because, believe it or not, we're not done with the White Palace. There's one more thing to see there. Finally. The buildup of the palace grounds as it was originally meant to be presented. The first time I came through here, I was stinky, and then the next few times I was speeding through. And now, we have the proper experience. Or something, I don't know. I'm very, obsessive about that kind of thing, and I don't get why. Let's go on back in. To reiterate, the ability to go back into the White Palace after completing it the first time was not in the game at launch. It was added in the Grim Troop DLC, and, like I said before, you'll see why very shortly, within the same video this time. Okay, no, that's about the same amount of soul as the other soul totems. So you'll notice, sorry guys, I need the soul. Just 1 second, no hard feelings, okay? Right, I mean, not okay. You'll notice, we can no longer backtrack to the opening areas of the White Palace. White Palace is not fully explorable, and in fact, I'm pretty sure, okay, well, actually no, this was the doorway off to one of the 2 wings that we went through the first time, but the door we actually came through should also be blocked off, if I'm not mistaken, or is it? Never mind. Seems like we can revisit the original areas of White Palace. I actually didn't know I actually didn't know that. Yeah, okay, we can go right back to the beginning if we want. Okay, so then why do they shut off the wings? I don't know. It's a very weird design choice to do it that way, to lock you out of the places you've completed. I know their mindset is, you've done this challenge, so why would you want to do it again, right? But, I mean, people might want to practice and get better at the level designs that have such a high skill ceiling and that they really want to get good at, so, you know, might want to think about them a little bit sometimes. Anyway, yeah, hang on. Okay, no, this is blocked off as well. So the 2 wings with saw blades we went through the first time are inaccessible. That being said, the remainder of the White Palace is still fully accessible as far as I know. I've never actually gone up to the top of it before to see if anything's changed. I doubt there's anything to see there, and I kinda don't feel like doing it. Maybe another day. For now, let me show you this. Yeah. A completely invisible breakable wall. So invisible, the wall doesn't even break. You open a very, very, very secret tunnel inside this wall, and for traveling through it, you are welcomed into infamy. To witness secrets sealed, one must endure the harshest punishment. This is Path of Pain. A second-level version of the White Palace. If you consider the White Palace to be a boss battle in some way, which it can be viewed as considering how long it takes to conquer the challenge, you can view Path of Pain as the White Palace's dream rematch. This area was added in the Grim Troop DLC. It is a very, very optional area. So optional, you don't even get an achievement for doing this, for completing this. That said, this would not be a truly complete Hollow Knight series if we didn't do this. So, let's begin. This is going to be our final bit of level design before the end of the game. And dash across straight away to see this. This is a statue of the Hollow Knight, and this is a soul totem that gives unlimited soul. They will never, ever run out. I sounded like Spooky from Spooky's Jump Scare Mansion just then. So this, along with all of these freaking charms, will ensure that we never, ever take any lasting damage from platforming whatsoever. In fact, I wonder if I wanted to take off Grub Song and put on Mark of Pride. I think Long Nail will help, just because it increases our nail's range, which will make the platforming a lot easier going forwards. Because as you can expect, in the hardest platforming challenge in the entire game, which this is, haven't properly said that yet, we're gonna need to bounce on things a lot. So let's begin. You begin by while jumping up these walls that don't look wall jumpable at all. That sets the tone very well, and okay, already first hit. Just like before, I'll be showing a counter of every single hit that I take. Oh my god, okay. Oh boy. I've completed this a fair few times. I want to say like 3 or 4 times at least. That said, it is still very hard every time I try it again. Oh man, I'm already losing so much health. This is going insanely well, isn't it? 4 hits right off the bat. Alright. You went up, so you want to wait for the saw blade to go up. Watching this. Go across. Wing mold. Wing mold. Wing mold. Wing mold. Okay, there we go. This is the training I needed to get good at Celeste right away. I don't think they meant to build the wall this way. I don't think they meant to have 2 walls here, but that's just what they did. 2 walls at 2 different layers of the screen. Okay, here we go. And then you. Oh god. There's like barely any solid ground. That's the tricky part with this. We haven't seen solid ground at all so far, which means if we die here, we reset all the way back to the beginning. Fortunately though, here is a checkpoint. Just like before, the challenge with that Path of Pain is not dying, it's getting through each section. Once you get through each section, the checkpoint is set, and you just have to face the next challenge. It's a very long challenge, though, so here we go. Haven't taken any hits so far yet. Dash to you. I haven't taken any hits since the 4 from the beginning, I'm pretty sure. Bounce off you. Long Nail's really helping me there, and that's first room done. You can hear a very familiar music piece in the background going. Oh, those are tiny wall jump areas. Let's get the remaining soul we don't have from you. There's a door here we need to open. So let's go to the left. Oh boy, alright. This looks like a Celeste room, honestly. Alright, let's go. Boop. Dip. 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 Or rather, should I say Celeste looks like this because Celeste came out after this game, but you know what I mean. Now we have Saw Blade passing through the bottom there. I don't believe you need to bounce on that Saw Blade at all. You just need to avoid it. Not like that. Nor that. Okay, gotta dash at just the right time. There we go. Gotta not move. Gotta not be pressing a direction while you do that. And then, there we go. Okay. Only 2 hits in that room. These Saw Blades could be anywhere. Alright, let's heal. I like having my health bar at full. And then... bounce across. Okay. Here we are. That completes that now. Oh boy, we have to bounce along all of those while taking care not to be hit by any of the ceiling ones. So we gotta bounce at just the right time. Dash underneath, bounce. Dash for safety. Then we can bounce above this, but not too high, because the thorns will get you. Okay. Alright, cool. Then, boop, 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 boop. Bounce on the tiny one at the end, double jumps to stay out of its range, or else it'll come up and hit you before you can move fast enough, before you can bounce up fast enough. Oh boy, now I have to deal with this, so it's best to bounce now. Jump in anticipation for the next one. Dash along, there we go. This is going very well so far. Knock on wood. There's the point, though. There's the point where I always struggle. And we have yet to reach there. The lever has opened the door. We may progress onwards. This is to ensure that should you die in this point, for whatever reason, you do not have to redo that section again. Every other section, though, will have to be done all over. So that's the only exception. This part, okay. I'm very bad at this part as well. Let's go before bounces. Could go this way. We have 2. Okay. Can't jump out like that, but you can do whatever I just did just then. Not really sure what I just did just then. Okay, then. And yes, this music does drone on the entire time. If it really bothers you, you can turn it down in settings, but I think it works quite well, honestly. Yep. And here you bounce around. Okay. I can still salvage it. Can I? I'm probably not going to make any cuts throughout this whole point. You're seeing this whole thing from start to finish. Ow. Why'd I say this whole thing twice in a row? I don't know. Actually, I know why. It's because I'm bad at talking in YouTube videos. At least these last 2 videos I've been doing have been great so far. We'll have to see about this one, though. This one's only just started. Okay, then. We'll just try again. You know, what else would we be freaking doing? Oh, but the saw blade was in my way! Oh, but the saw blade! Okay, that's why you want to wait on that wall, I guess. So let's go. See, I'm very, very not practiced with this whole thing, whereas I was very practiced with the original White Palace. This, though, this is something else. Okay, go, 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 go. This way, I think. Okay. Bounce on. Go. Jump. There's nothing there. There are no secrets to find here. No! I didn't go far enough. I think I used my double jump a little hastily as well. There are no secrets to find here whatsoever, unlike original White Palace, so just focus on the challenge ahead. Nothing to distract you. There is nothing to distract you, is what I meant to say, but I instead just said nothing to distract you. Like, whatever, what does that mean? What? Let's heal. I want full health. Having a piece of myself missing, that's the reason why I've been so bad. That little piece of health missing is the answer to all of my problems. Oh, man. Again, I don't know why there are 2 walls there. Is that a mistake? Do they mean to put that in? Okay. There we go. Ah! I was able to, like, jump off the wall and go right back on afterwards. Earlier, I mean. Not afterwards. Before. Literally the opposite. There we go. Go, go, go. Gadget arm, no! Come on, man. Okay, they go fast, so I think I could probably stick to the wall a little while, wait for the saw blade to pass, then keep going. That's later, you know. Yeah, like that, like that, like that. Okay, here we go. Bounce. Double jump, hit the wall. Avoid the blades. Here we are. This is a new checkpoint. Okay. Now we Crystal Heart, and I think from this point on, oh, yeah, okay, we have to do all that. Good, good, I was gonna say. So, gotta stop here, double jump up, wall jump, bounce on the wing molds. This is so good, though, like, really, this platforming, it's so hard, but it's so fun to get down, so fun to nail, if you catch my drift. The platforming in this game is great, and yet it's so simple. Like, it's just wall jumping on straight surfaces. The obstacles never really get further developed beyond the saw blades in the White Palace, and yet the platforming manages to be this fun. It's really the game's controls, I think, that do it. Thankfully, being hit by a wing mold is being counted as being hit by an enemy, thus, you do not reset anywhere. Alright, that's that room done. Uh-oh. Oh no, I know where we are. This is the last room already, I know. However, it is by far the hardest room. It is so much harder than the rest of Path of Pain. Like, honestly, when I first played through Path of Pain, I was like, this isn't that bad so far. And then I got here, and I was like, ah, okay, I see it. So as you can see, we have to bounce along those spikes. Can't bounce along the bottom, because those are thorns, and thorns can't be bounced on. So we have to... Okay, you have to, like, time it. Great start, okay. And then... there's so many things that can go wrong, and this room is long, you're not given any break during it. Alright. Go. I think I want to jump around this. It's really hard to time this one because you're stuck on this wall like this. Okay. At least your double jump is replenished. So you can rely on that, but you can't rely on that. Alright. Let's heal. Healing is my good luck charm at this point. I think Longnail's the only reason I'm able to get that one. That one hit! Oh my god, I just slipped off! Rookie error! Okay. Dash down. We've come a long way from those very few simple jumps in the opening of the game in King's Pass, haven't we? Like, seriously. Compared to this, that was nothing. Up it, for fuck's sake. And like I said, I'm not cutting any of this. You're going to watch my whole painful experience. Well, I'm thinking of it again. Am I the only one that kind of reads this area's name as a game show name? Like, Path of Pain! Sounds like a Wipeout-like show or something. Okay, here we are. Bounce along this. Bounce along this, taking care not to bounce too much, not to over-rely, so we don't hit the ceiling. And then you, and then you. Bounce on this for safety. Bounce. No, that was the end. That was the end right there. That always happens, man. All right, here we go. Here we go again. I'm only like 20 minutes into this video. I'm guessing this is going to be a very short finale, because this was honestly what I was expecting to be like the main content of the episode. Okay. Yeah. Hiya. 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 Alright. Okay, there we go. Oh no! Crap! Saw that coming a mile away. As soon as I used my double jump, I was like, fuck, wait, that was early. That was too early. Okay. I keep saying, okay. It's just a part of my process, you know? It's my due process. I don't know if that's the right word, but you know. Okay, so you can just stay on those spikes if you really want to. Okay. And there I go again. Not really realizing it. I used my double jump too early again. Okay. I think I'm starting to lose again because I'm missing 1 point of health. There we go. We want to do it that way. Then. And then. And then! Drop down here and you suddenly have to fight 2 King's Molds. Do not die here or you have to redo the entirety of Path of Pain again. King's Molds aren't very hard, but since you have to switch back to your combat mindset in half a second, these guys can absolutely catch you off guard. Just pow them down with soul. You probably have quite a bit of it, especially if you have the charms you have. And there it is. That's Path of Pain. How'd I do? I don't know because I haven't been keeping track of my hits. I have a feeling I am like above 50, but we'll have to see. Once again, editing me, if you could drop me a grade. Honestly, I expected that to take much longer. Now, this video is going to be shorter than I expected, but that's okay. I don't have any problems with that whatsoever. Both this video and last video were a lot shorter than anticipated, but whatever. I don't know what this symbol is supposed to be exactly. Actually, looking at the top, I think I have an idea. Let's explore more about heading into the next room. Who was that little guy next to the king, I wonder? Maybe I'll find out more. Back in the main world. For completing Path of Pain, your only reward, there we go, I had to find the right word, aside from that little piece of lore, is this, the Seal of Binding, used to contain a powerful force or to preserve something of great importance. This probably is related to how the Hollow Knight, the pure vessel, in quotes, was sealed inside, or bound, and then sealed inside of the Temple of the Black Egg. It looks something like it as well. After that, I left a little hastily. After that, Path of Pain is closed off to you forever. So, Path of Pain is an area you can never revisit after completing it. Again, I don't really get why. What if someone wants to practice Path of Pain for a speedrun, and you're just, like, leaving them out of it, but I guess the developers are not intending you to speedrun their game. I guess, I don't know. Anyway, it's just a weird little design thing. With that done, that is everything that there is to do in the White Palace. We may now return to the main world safely, and I can finally show what it's like to do so. Seal of Binding, just like the Hunter's Mark, is a token of achievement, meaning it does not increase the counters, either of the 2 counters in the bottom right corner of the menu. Now, I guess, like I just said, I did want to go a little bit more into the mystery of what exactly is going on with that little guy next to the Pale King, so let's progress that way. Let's equip Kingsoul and bring it down into the abyss. I love pausing like that. It's so much more satisfying than crashing into something. I'm gonna dodge past you guys. I can't actually one-shot these guys now, which I guess says to me that they have 20 health. I wouldn't be surprised if they did. The abyss. This area is so cool, man. I think have we been here again a second time since we explored it the first time? I'm not sure we have, thinking about it now. I think we explored everything it had for us the first time and then never came back until now, of course. But that was like episode, was that 17? I don't know. It's hard to keep track of my episode names. I was thinking of episode 21 because of my blind playthrough. That's what it was with my blind playthrough when I found this place. Here though, that was like 18, 17, something like that. Anyway, we're back once more. And I just need to say once again how cool of an area this is. Great atmosphere. I wish its ambience was in the game's soundtrack, but I won't. I won't linger on that for longer than I need to. Especially because it's just me complaining. Down at the bottom, you can hear a whooshing noise. We'll explore this another time. There's something I'd like to show first. Like how I said, we'll explore this another time, like as if I'm gonna save it for a later video or something. What do I mean? We're going to get right back to it. I just wanted to show something else small first. Something else small first. That was my choice of language there. Good job, good going, me. All right, let's dash across this once again. I don't know what all those things are in the back holding the things up, and I think I went over this last time we were here, but I will reiterate. I don't know what those are, but they're cool. They're cool and they're large, and they look like buildings of a city almost. So, idiots. If we return back to the statue, recall that we tried to dream nail it in the past, but it didn't allow us. With the awoken dream nail, we now can, implying this being was of great power. Void power without unity. You're telling me this game isn't running on the Unity engine? I thought it was. And we have the void within us, we have the power of the void within us, but it is not yet unified. Maybe there's a way we can fix that? I mean, I don't know. Am I about to create the United States of Void or something within myself? Well, whatever questions we may have, we should find some of the answers down where the whooshing noise is. That's right. The abyss keeps going deeper. Deeper than you would ever expect. And in this case, the walls are filled with the corpses of the vessels. The entire ground of the abyss up above is made of vessel corpses. There's more than we even thought the first time. And that makes you wonder, what does the abyss look like without the corpses? How much bigger is it actually? It's already huge, but it's even bigger without them. That's so cool, man. Even after all this time, there's still just one little part of the world we haven't seen yet. And of course, it's literally, for real this time, actually the deepest part of the map. Down here, we have the final arcane egg. There are only 4. I shall be sure to give this to Lim on the way out. Meantime, kill you. Alright. These things deal 2 damage. I don't know if I've been over that officially, but they do. I think the arcane egg is the only thing to see down here. But that said, I'll explore the rest of the hallways anyway, just to satisfy y'all's curiosity. Think I've already been here. Let's keep going. Down to the right, where we shall eventually find something. I hope we find something. Otherwise, this would be the most pointless adventure of all time. Pow. Dash across. Down or further right? Let's go right. Okay, nothing here. Nothing here. How about this? That... Those pieces of corpses there are on the wrong layer, I think. They're a little weird. They're a little weird looking. But I won't point I won't criticize the beautiful graphics of this game too much. I mean visuals. Not really graphics, I guess. Graphics are like textures and quality and whatnot, whereas the visuals are like the art direction. The art direction in this game is awesome. At the end lies an egg. A very shiny egg that contains a reflection of us. Hitting the egg does nothing. Pressing up on the egg does nothing. Nail arting the egg does nothing. I'm pretty sure you know what's left. No cost too great. No mind to think. No will to break. No voice to cry suffering. Born of God and void. You shall seal the blinding light that plagues their dreams. You are the vessel. You are the Hollow Knight. By dream nailing our reflection, we were able to access our own memories. That was an event that occurred to us some time ago. That was when the king, and supposedly the queen, wherever she was in there, of Hallownest, extracted the pure vessel, or who they thought was the pure vessel, later became the Hollow Knight, from the Abyss. I have no idea how we got out of the Abyss afterwards, or perhaps why we haven't grown as much as the Hollow Knight clearly has since then. I'm not sure those are ever explained, but they're just like little things you can... They're the little things, they don't really matter to the main plot. After that, this thing no longer shows your reflection. What was it, too taxing a performance or something? I don't really get why that is, but yeah, it stops. Now it's time to address the elephant in the room. After witnessing that memory, the void within you stirs and takes over, creating the Void Heart. An emptiness that was hidden within, now unconstrained, unifies the void under the bearer's will. This charm is a part of its bearer and cannot be unequipped. The void transforms Kingsoul into the Void Heart, which in turn makes it no longer cost anything, which is nice. But the effects of replenishing soul are gone. Kingsoul's main effect is now no longer accessible. I think Kingsoul's worst crime, that makes it sound a little more like heinous than it really is, but Kingsoul's worst trait, as soon as you use it on what you're supposed to use it on to progress the game, it gets taken from your inventory and replaced with quite literally nothing. You have one tiny window of time to get use out of its soul gaining effects, but if you go and do this right away, you don't get those effects ever again. Kingsoul takes my vote for worst charm in Hollow Knight. Its effect is very weak considering its abnormally high cost. You have to play through a lot of the game to get it. You had to collect it in 2 separate fragments, and one of the fragments involves you beating the frickin' White Palace. So considering you go to all that effort to get a super expensive charm with a really weak effect, and then it gets taken away from you almost straight afterwards. Yeah. Kingsoul's a bad charm. I cannot really defend it much of any way. I can at least say it does have a use in Godmaster, but if you play through the entire main game first, you won't be able to see that use. All in all, Kingsoul is the charm that I recommend the least. I can't think of any situation. I can only think of one situation where it's applicable if it's possible for you to even use it in that situation. With that being said, at least the Void Heart, which is a permanently equipped charm, has unique effects. Our siblings no longer attack. They are completely passive entities. I remember not actually noticing this on my first playthrough, but yeah, they just disappear when you get close now. That's not all though. As we make our way back out into the Abyss, I can show you other things that now leave us alone. These pools of black will no longer sprout void tendrils and are now safe to swim in. And should you return back to the statue, its dialogue has been updated. Lord of Shades. Yeah, that's me, baby. You got me. I shouldn't hit you in the face. That's a little disrespectful, but you know. Siblings continue popping out of the abyss, but they no longer chase you. If you end up dying past this point, and you most likely will, even your shade no longer attacks, and can now be killed in one hit. Again, I somehow never noticed that on a first playthrough. I did notice I was killing it in one hit, but I thought that was just related to me having the pure nail. I didn't think it was actually related to the Void Heart thing. That is such a cool detail. I absolutely love that. I love how when you completely take yourself over in Void, you gain the Void's power on your conquest towards the true ending of the game, the Void creatures actually stop fighting you. Minus the Collector, which I'm pretty sure would still fight you if you haven't beaten him up until this point, because that's just how he has to work. But I love that all the Void enemies down here in the Abyss stop attacking you. These crawly guys are the only ones that still do it, but they're infected, so that's why. This is a thing I kind of wish From Software and their Souls games would do, like, for instance, in Elden Ring, minor spoilers for Elden Ring coming here really soon. When you accept the Frenzied Flame and let it take yourself over, I wish the Frenzied Flame enemies would stop attacking you. But no, they keep going. Or how about, minor spoilers for Dark Souls 3. In Dark Souls 3, when you go down the area of Londor questline and you get yourself hollowed and you become Lord of Hollows by marrying yourself to Anri or whatever the hell, the hollow enemies still attack you. And I mean, I get it. It's the main enemy, especially in the late game, but I kind of wish that there was that little detail that now that you are the lord of this whole faction in the game, that the members of that faction, who are normally enemies, would stop attacking you. It's a great detail that I wish they did more often, but they don't. At least Hollow Knight does it, and that's good enough for me. I'm gonna climb back up to Relic Seeker Lem's shop, and in order to hand in the thingy. While I'm on the way, I just want to tell you the arcane egg. That's what I meant to say. Yeah, I want to tell you it's an arcane egg. No, I just wanted to say thank you all for watching. Thank you all for watching this series. I've noticed the comments. I've noticed the views. There's been relative consistency on this series compared to some of my others, and I very much thank all of you for that. Honestly, I didn't really know what to expect from this redo series, since this is a game I've already played all the way through in a previous series. It's just that I had a bunch of new information to go over, and I kind of wanted to present everything in the game in a new light, of kind of officially go over it in a walkthrough style. Instead of the, random bumbling around, figuring things out as I go. I do understand that might be a little more enjoyable, though, which is why I haven't taken down the original series. You can go watch it whenever you want to, but I just think, there's so many things to talk about with this game that I thought this playthrough was worth doing. I thought it was worth going over, all the different ways this game works, how all the charms work exactly, stuff like the damage numbers, little things like that aren't obvious and that most Hollow Knight Let's Play series probably wouldn't go over at all. I also felt like making a second series was neat in that I could show a different way of progressing through the game. I could show myself progressing through the game in a very different order. Just want to remind ourselves of what the story we just uncovered, who the story we just uncovered revolves around, And on top of that, there are a bunch of little secret encounters I never knew about in my first playthrough and, until after the game was done, and I really wanted to show them off in a video. My original plan was actually, I was just gonna make a bonus episode for that series. I was just gonna make, here's a Hollow Knight bonus episode with all the sorts of different things I've encountered, and I even wrote down notes for it. But then, that idea eventually morphed into this series, and this series took a lot longer to come out than I intended it to, and that's because my plans changed pretty much all the time. In fact, I was going to do this series before Elden Ring. Then I decided to do Elden Ring first because I was too excited to get it started. I work in very weird ways like that. Here's the last arcane egg for Lem. A fourth arcane egg? I wouldn't have believed it possible. I've never met a bug with your knack of uncovering this kingdom's treasures. You must have some sort of sense about you. Or maybe these eggs are somehow drawn to you. My fellows have claimed there's a will of sorts within each egg, that each seeks its own bearer, or rejects them. That'd be a subtle power indeed, and I remain skeptical. Relic seekers are prone to confusing facts with fable. Except you, I'm pretty sure. That's the last relic in the game that I know of. I might be missing one somewhere, but that's all of the dialogue he has to say about every relic. It is entirely possible for you to miss out on that last piece of dialogue if you missed the arcane egg inside of the place where you found Lifeblood Core. It is possible to miss that one. And if you miss it, you can't see that fourth piece of dialogue. So, there you go. Yet another special thing about this game down. And with that is every single piece of content that there is to cover in Hollow Knight, aside from the ending. So let's get on with it already. And while we're on the way, I think enough time has passed. A lot of the mysteries have been either, brought up again or somewhat answered. So, in the words of King Roam Bosphoromus Hyrule, the time has come for me to tell you everything. Before Hallownest's creation, this land was home to a number of higher beings. There was the White Lady, the source of all the plants in Green Path, whatever the being was that spawned the mushrooms and fungal wastes, as well as the independent Mantis tribe that resided within, the Weavers in Deep Nest, the Moth tribe along with the guiding light that spawned them, and finally, the Void, deep within the world. One day, a new higher being arrived onto this land, a giant worm that dug its way through to what would later become King's Pass, all the way down to what would later become Kingdom's Edge, where it died and reincarnated itself into a new small worm. This pale worm had mighty power, comparable to all the other powerful beings that resided here, and he used this power to establish the Kingdom of Hallownest. A place where all bugs could become fully intelligent and sentient just for being inside of it. He was able to take control and win over the majority of the beings in this land, with the White Lady even becoming the Queen of Hallownest. The only people he couldn't control were the creatures of Deep Nest, as well as the Mantis tribe, though at least the Mantis tribe agreed to keep Deep Nest out of the rest of the world. Most crucially of all, the Moth tribe abandoned their guiding light in order to join Hallownest. And the old light was not happy with this. The light lost all its people and its power over them, and it began planning to take revenge. However, the King of Hallownest was able to foresee this coming. So before the light could do anything, he sealed it away in the dream world, thinking that it could do no harm there. He was wrong. Eventually, the light began to infect people through their dreams. Whenever anyone fell asleep, the light would appear in their dreams and promise them great power. But if they gave in, it would kill them. The king and queen immediately got to work to prevent this in the most dire way possible. The king believed that the void had the power to contain the infectious light. So by combining their own power with the void's power, the king and queen gave birth to a massive number of children known as vessels. The vessels were hollow beings with no emotions or voices whatsoever, which was needed in order to contain the infection. The problem is that most of the vessels weren't fit, and they had to search for one pure vessel that truly had no emotions at all. After creating hundreds, if not thousands of vessels, they made what they believed to be the perfect one, and immediately took it out of the abyss, leaving all of the others to die. This pure vessel was raised within the White Palace, kept a secret from the rest of the kingdom. And this is why the royal retainers in the White Palace bow to you, by the way, because you're also a vessel. After the vessel grew up enough, it was locked away in the Temple of the Black Egg behind 3 seals. These seals were powered by dreamers, people who went into an eternal sleep in order to keep each seal locked. Lurien the Watcher was one who was very loyal to the king, so he obviously agreed to become a dreamer. Monomon the Teacher, who seemingly did a lot of research about this old light, also agreed to become a dreamer. Finally, the Queen of the Weavers, Hera the Beast, agreed to become a dreamer, but only if the king would have a child with her. And that child was Hornet. And so, after all of this, the infection was supposed to be contained. Unfortunately, the plan didn't work. While being raised in the White Palace, the Hollow Knight gained emotion. It felt a bond towards its parents, and this made it no longer fit to contain the infection. So as a result, the infection still reigned supreme, and one by one, the citizens of Hallownest perished. They tried everything, putting the capital city into quarantine, staying awake as long as they could, but nothing worked. Through both a famine that spread throughout the capital city as they could no longer get food, as well as the infection itself, the kingdom of Hallownest fell at the hands of the Old Light. The king, not wanting to face his people after what he did to try and stop the infection, disappeared and was never seen again. But even that wasn't the end of it. The infection eventually intensified, bubbling up within the Hollow Knight and cracking its shell. This released a new wave that started reanimating the corpses of all of Hallownest's citizens. That is where the game began. What follows is, of course, the journey we've been on. And now, with the power of the Void Heart in our possession, we have just what we need to shut off this light. After collecting the Void Heart, Hornet is here for some final words. The path is opened. One way or another, an end awaits inside. I won't be joining you in this. That space is built to sustain your likes. Its bindings would drain me were I to join. Don't be surprised. I'll not risk my own life in your attempt, though if the moment presents, I'll aid as I'm able. This basically means, I'll swoop in when it's most necessary, you deal with it otherwise. She actually has more dialogue if the door to the temple hasn't been opened yet, and I believe I got this dialogue on my True Ending in One Go live stream, and I will show you what that is here. Unless I actually didn't see that dialogue, in which case, that's awkward. Let's go inside. We've been through this before. But our objective is to once again challenge the Hollow Knight. This time, a little bit more will happen. Dash through, and now I need to choose a final set of charms. Obviously the Void Heart's on because I literally can't take it off. So let's go with Quick Slash, Grub Song, Quick Focus. I don't want to do anything too strong, because then I won't be able to show off this fight in the way that I want to. So we could go with Mark of Pride, and then it might be fun to try Over Charming. But do I really want to? After some thinking, I've decided I will Overcharm. Let's do it. Specifically, I'm going to Overcharm with Lifeblood Core. That way, I get a free hit to start with, and then I have to heal it on my own. This panel says nothing new, so let's go right on in. He's already unbound from our past encounter, waiting for you to fight him. And during this refight of the Hollow Knight, pay attention to some of his moves. You'll see a little bit more information revealed that way. I sound like Kyoko from Danganronpa. Pay attention. If you look at how this is this way, it'll all become clear. But, you know, that's just how it is. I love this fight so much. The atmosphere is great. The arena looks cool. The music is obviously awesome. Oh, you know, I'm not sure if I'm going to get my lifeblood health back. I don't know why I did that. But anyway, you can see that while the slashing is absolutely the Hollow Knight's doing, some of the other attacks are the infections doing. You can see that one. That's mainly the infection sending those at us. Okay, it's the parry guard, and that's mainly infection coming from the ground. Then, we progress him into phase 3, which should happen any second now. With the strongest nail, this fight's pretty quick, honestly. Strongest nail and the spell upgrades, of course. Hey, look. Come on, man. There we are. So this move, I perceive it to be at least the Hollow Knight, the little piece of the Hollow Knight that still remains in there, taking over and helping you finish him off. Or finish it off. And then this is all the infection's doing. Notice how after the attack is done, it drops him to the ground and he's there staggered. That is definitely not the Hollow Knight in control of that attack. Same thing with this one. That's the infection inflating into balloons, forcing it to fly so that it can slam the Hollow Knight down on you, basically using it as a battering ram. And one more detail that I absolutely love. Vessels have no voice. We've established this by the dialogue prompt on things being listen. So yeah, vessels, including the Hollow Knight, shouldn't have a voice, and that whole story cutscene we had not long ago goes over that. That said, the Hollow Knight still screams. That's not the Hollow Knight screaming. And that also wasn't the case for Broken Vessel down in Ancient Basin. That's something else. Someone else who is very angry. Should be getting there any second now. I might actually... Oh my god, what a fucking anticlimax! At the transition to Phase 4, Hornet interjects. Get good! You heard her! It's time to get good! Dream nail the Hollow Knight and enter its mind. This looks familiar. We've seen a dream that looks like this multiple times before. It was as we were going to kill each of the 3 dreamers. And something about this dream. The background was not always the same each time. The first time that you enter a dream realm containing a dreamer, the background is a dark brown. The second time, a faint light begins to appear. And the third time, the light grows brighter. This time, for the fourth one, we can see the light sitting right there. The light is not very happy with us. But you know what? We're not happy with it either. The conceiver of the Moth Tribe and the blinding light that guides them all. It's the Radiance, the ultimate god of Hallownest or something like that. The Radiance hangs out in the background as one of the few bosses to not deal contact damage. As she goes, she will launch attacks at you from all sides of the screen. She can launch a radius of swords like that, a blinding white sheet of light that you have to dash right through with your Shadow Dash. She can rain swords on top of you or send in swords from the side. That last one probably being her most devilish attack. Then there's this one, where she sends projectile suns at you that home in, similar to the Soul Master's projectiles, or the Soul Twisters. Okay, there we go. We gotta back up a little bit. Make sure your Shadow Dash is charged. And this is her last attack, the Laser Burst. She blasts lasers in directions 3 times, changing them each time. You just have to not stay in the lines when they go fat, and that's about it. Okay, this one. You can dash through the daggers like so, but it's usually best to find the openings like that. She will send 4 walls of daggers at you every time that she does that attack. She will also not immediately follow it up with another attack, so you have time to see it coming. After dealing enough damage, she introduces spikes into her arena. You can clear these spikes by stomping on them, but then they will shortly appear next time that they move to the other side of the arena. They will switch between sides of the arena, constantly creating yet another layer of chaos to this already chaotic battle. Just say, I'm not really using Quick Slash very effectively, but that's because I want to show the attacks. Okay, that's about it. That upward attack is probably the most powerful attack you can use against her. If you spam that on her, oh god. Okay, I totally forgot. Okay, good thing I had my lifeblood refill, but I totally forgot I'm overcharmed. If If you spam that at her, she will go down so fast, it's crazy. Said, I do at least want to show how you can dodge the attacks more often. And now, the spikes are at either side. And this is because she has a new special move. At this point, she will rain down the sword rains on you infinitely until you hit her enough times. So just dodge between them, spot them within the shaking, and there you go. This is the only time she ever staggers and gives you a guaranteed hit window. The void tried to pull her down into it to consume her light, but she resisted. And now it's time for phase 2. You must do the same fight, but suspended on a bunch of floating platforms. Oh god. Fortunately, most of her attacks are weakened in this phase. The sword walls, as you just saw, she only sent 2 of them where she sent 4 of them before. Her laser burst takes longer to come out for the first time, and she can no longer use the sword ray. That being said, her other attacks are nothing to sneeze at, especially this one. Those sun projectiles, when they're spawned in for a little while, they pass through solid objects, meaning these platforms won't keep you safe from them for a little while after they initially appear, so you want to keep that in mind. I recommend staying below the Radiance as much as possible. I find her attacks a lot easier to dodge that way. Okay, gotta get off that platform, lickety-split. There we go. Stay below. This is a very safe way of fighting the Radiance, but it's fine. Oh god, when I take as much damage as I do, I definitely want to keep safe. Okay. Falling down there will just be a 1 damage hit. Okay, only 2 of these, so once they're gone, you never have to worry about them. Let's heal a little bit. How about that? There we go. Okay. Then you. I find it really hard, if not impossible, to shadow dash through these. I would try it, and that risks things. That said, what is this playthrough without a little bit of risk, huh? Can you send those at me again? No, okay, you're sending that attack. Fine. Fine, whatever you want to do. Okay, these. Okay. I think they just ignore your shadow dash at first. I don't know. They're very finicky. I would not recommend dashing through them. Okay, got it just in time. Okay, now we do this. Now, I blast you with Void! Okay, still going, huh? There we go. This fight is not very long, but it is very hard. So, yeah. It'll definitely take you a long time because of that. Another wall of light. Those are very loud, so you can hear them coming a mile away. Okay, couldn't really say that, but it's fine. It worked out anyway. And now, she travels upwards. The platforms disappear, and you're left with a few platforms going upwards. She's trying to shoot a laser beam at you, but she is very inaccurate. This is the final part of the battle. She has that 1 hit remaining. All you have to do now is climb up to the top. As you get higher, the beam gets more and more accurate. Okay, there we go. Hiding from it. Whoa, okay. Also, she does 2 damage. I forgot to mention that, but that's okay. Get those lights off! And that was Hollow Knight. Unquestionably one of my top 5 favorite games ever. I was already excited to start playing this game 2 years ago, but nothing could prepare me for just how good it is. I think what makes this game work so well for me is its sheer simplicity. This is by no means a complicated game. The combat, platforming, and exploration, and every little thing about it isn't anything groundbreaking or something we've never seen before in the history of gaming. We've seen all of this stuff plenty of times. Even the charm system is just the badges from Paper Mario. Every facet of this game is nothing new, but it's all executed so well that it makes the entire experience stand out. It's like Joseph Anderson said in his video of this game, his critique of this game. This game does not have the best combat ever, the best platforming ever, or even the best exploration ever, but it does such a good job at all of them that the entire game is made better for it. This is also not even mentioning how much content there is in this game, and for once, I think this game nails a balance of quantity and quality. You could argue that this game is a little too big, and I might even agree to an extent, but every little thing you can do is unique, and I never felt like the game was padding the runtime. It was never forcing me to check out all of these huge areas in this huge world. I was all doing it voluntarily by myself. Did I just say I was all doing it? I meant to say doing all of it. Well, if I didn't say that, you can disregard this bit, I guess. One thing that really surprises me about this game is how replayable it is. You wouldn't think a game of this size would be replayable, but no. Because the game can be progressed in just about any order you like, one of the joys of playing this game is starting a new file and seeing just how different the game can be when you take this certain route through it, for example. Or it'll be like, wow, I didn't know you could get to this area at this point. That's pretty cool. The huge early game slog at the very beginning of the game notwithstanding, this is one of the most replayable games I've ever seen. Though I feel like I say that about a lot of games. Still, though, it still stands, I think. Anyway, the credits are done, so let me wrap up my thoughts. This is the end of the main story of Hollow Knight, but is not quite the end of this Let's Play series. Sometime after this, I'm going to be making a bonus mini-series going into the remaining DLC, as well as various other side things. Don't worry, I wasn't lying at the start of this playthrough. We will be seeing everything. So, I hope you're looking forward to that. Or you could just have this be your stopping point. That's fine with me. You have seen pretty much all of the main game as is, so either way, I hope you enjoyed this series as much as I enjoyed making it. And if I encouraged any of you to try this game out for yourself, that would make me incredibly happy. Play this game if you haven't. It's so good. With that, I take my leave. Thank you all so much for watching this playthrough, if you did. And as always, I will see you all in the future.